Hi, I'm dyork from Voxeo, and I want to talk today about our news that Voxeo has acquired the VoiceXML browser technology, business, and customers from Motorola. What it means for Voxeo, for Motorola, for the larger industry, and perhaps most importantly, for companies that want to add VoiceXML to their existing products and services. Now, before I do all that, let's maybe talk about what is VoiceXML. If you call into an existing voice app, say you're calling into your bank, and you want to get your bank balance, the first thing you'll be prompted to do is probably what is your account number, what feature do you want, account balance, transfers, things like that. All of that is happening, that interaction is with a voice application running on someone's voice application platform. Now, it could be on Voxeo's. We provide that kind of service either in a hosted cloud or on a company's premise. It could be one of the other providers, but you're interacting with a voice app. Now, today in 2009, odds are that you're interacting with an application written in VoiceXML. The dialogue that you're having with that automated service is described by the developer in a language called VoiceXML, and that's running on that application platform. It describes the prompts you hear, the choices you have, and all of that. Now, it wasn't always VoiceXML. Historically, a lot of these voice apps have been developed in proprietary XML formats, which, while they might have been simple or easy, they locked you into a specific vendor's platform. So once you had developed the app, you couldn't move it if you didn't like the vendor, or you wanted better capabilities or a better price or anything else like that. You had no choice. You were locked in. What happened about 10 years ago was that a group of people got together and formed something called VoiceXML. It's now an open standard standardized by the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium, the folks behind HTML and XML, and it describes the dialogue that you have between a caller and an application. Could be like a bank. It could be an IVR system where you're going in and choosing the department that you want to go to. It could be a reservation system or a customer satisfaction system. It could be an outbound app letting you know that your prescription's ready, or that there's a meeting coming and asking you if you'll attend. There's a lot of things it can do, but anything with voice basically could be done with VoiceXML. Now, a VoiceXML browser is the piece of software that you interact with when you actually call in. So when you call in, you're reaching some software that is interfacing between you, the caller, and that voice application. It's called a browser because it actually works a lot like a web browser. If you think of a web browser, when you enter in a URL, you get a browser on your screen that shows you the text on that page. It shows you links that give you choices to go make those. It's all that presented to you graphically on your screen. Well, for voice, you're not entering a URL, you're calling a number. And when you call that number, you get to a voice browser, which then retrieves a VoiceXML application, executes it, provides you with choices, not through links, but through either DTMF or through speech, through touchtone or speech, and then it pulls up other pages and so on from there. So that's the VoiceXML browser, the interface between you and the voice app. Now, Motorola was involved very early in VoiceXML and really had the first commercially deployed VoiceXML browser. And they licensed it to many companies. It's probably the most widely used VoiceXML browser. It's extremely standards compliant, very flexible, very easy to build upon. Some of the largest voicemail deployments in the world are running on Motorola's product called Vox Gateway. Now, Voxeo has been working with Motorola since those early days. In 2002, we actually licensed the product and the source code. And right away, we started to build upon it because we took the basic Vox Gateway product and then we added additional modules on top of it and kept adding modules to create the kind of supercharged Vox Gateway that we sell as our Prophecy, as the Prophecy VoiceXML browser, as part of our Prophecy platform. Now, so we diverged from the Vox Gateway core, but that was still down at the foundation. And in 2004, we entered into a partnership with Motorola where we took over the development and the ongoing maintenance and evolution of the basic Vox Gateway platform. Now, Motorola still sold it, still licensed it, still supported it, but Voxeo was providing the engineering effort behind that. So we were continuing to help Motorola with the base Vox Gateway while we continued to build our advanced Prophecy VoiceXML browser. And we added modules for things like MRCP, so we could add in additional speech recognition engines and text-to-speech engines. And we added in SIP telephony to be able to interoperate with voice over IP systems. So we added a lot of additional functionality on top of that. Well, now, 5 years later, in 2009, we're announcing that we have acquired the entire Vox Gateway, the VoiceXML browser business from Motorola. So we now own the source code, and we've actually licensed it back to Motorola for their own use. But we now have the source code. We have full control over that, full commercial, exclusive ownership of that. Now we've also brought across the customers, the OEM customers of Motorola's Vox Gateway product are now Voxeo customers. And we also cross-license patents with Motorola. They license us some of their VoiceXML patents. We license them our XML-related patents. So in the end, that's the major announcement. Now, how does this work for Motorola customers? Initially, not really a change because they're still getting the same support, same service. Vox Gateway is still supported and will be evolved and all of that, but it's through Voxeo directly instead of through Motorola. The win for them is that now we can go back, because we have full control of the source code, we can go back and license to those companies the added modules that we've developed over time. So for instance, if they want to add in MRCP very easily, we can license back to them that component. What's perhaps even more exciting to us is that all the companies out there that are looking to add VoiceXML into their existing products and services now have the capability to license the VoiceXML browser, our advanced browser, directly from Voxeo. Now, you may not realize that Voxeo, in addition to providing the voice app platform that we do, we also license our technology. We license, for instance, our CCXML browser is widely used within the industry by people who want to use call control XML, another standard from the W3C. Our speech rec and text-to-speech engines are also licensed out. We've licensed out our developer portal for companies that have wanted to have their own developer portal. There was a survey not a year or two back that had, I think it was 19 companies that offered hosted IVR, and something like 14 of those used Voxeo components somewhere in their infrastructure. So we do that, and now we've offered this. Now we can offer this VoiceXML component, not only the basic Vox Gateway from Motorola, but now also the advanced Prophecy, advanced VoiceXML browser as well. So we've got a lot of capabilities that are there. We're planning to continue to evolve it. VoiceXML 3 is coming around the corner. Our own Dan Burnett is actually the co-editor, co-chair of that group that's working on VoiceXML 3, so we'll look to add that in. We'll look to provide those additional capabilities. So for today, we're excited to welcome in some new customers into the Voxeo family, some large carriers and service providers who are OEMs of the Vox Gateway product and ultimately provide it out to thousands of companies who use that product and service. We're also very excited to start working with some new companies who want to bring VoiceXML into their products, but are looking for a quick way to do that without having to build their own services that are there. You can read more about all of this up on our blog site as we get our blogs up at blogs.voxeo.com. And if you're interested in licensing our technology or talking to us more about this, you can certainly contact us at sales@voxeo.com. Thanks for your time. Until another time, this is Dan York signing out.